noticed earlier that when I was here, I think last time, I was like, it's kind of weird how things are done, how people are moved. It seems like to certain locations, how certain activity is seeming to be allowed. You know what I mean? Like it's not really watched, monitored, or done like it's supposed to. Like I said, like you're giving somebody housing and opportunity to go somewhere and better themselves, but you're not really holding that it takes a village mentality. Meaning, if somebody's in under your care, under your watch, is not a report it to the city, and it's not a city. We pay them to do this. It's you going to check. Like I was first here, somebody talking about mice. Mice used to jump on my face in the middle of the night, and it was a building that looked like this, and I had to go and buy stuff to fix the hole myself after complaining over and over and over again. I was like, dude, like I'm working a full-time job, and I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I have to cook on a hot plate. I have to make sure that I'm being extremely, what's the word, frugal, like in what I buy and how to save and how I made my credit go up, everything, right? And was looking good too. So good that the staff began to hate. Like, oh, he's, I'm bulking. I look when I first went back to Georgia. I think there's a picture on my Instagram when I was standing in front of the car. I think was that around the time? I don't know if that was around the time or before. I can't remember. But I had gotten to that weight. And my credit was going up. I was working full time for for the city actually. And doing everything right. But still, it was like this whole thumb. And I was like, why are they like trying to put, we'll do this like picking. When I say picking, I was like picking. I was like, bro, I don't really mess with somebody going and come. Even the police officers, when they came, because we had like an altercation, I was like, you don't want to talk to the person? Because if you talk to the person or view the video, you'll see what happened. None of that. None of that. They told me to go pull out what did they say, to file charges in order to get a restraining order, which is something I didn't have to do. I believe I could have just went and tried to get it, or not have had the person, because I didn't want the person arrested. I just wanted basically something saying that it happened. I don't want them around me, and to make sure that we don't come into contact. Because here, you got to do this to move, and you got to do that, and they got to kick you out. And then I was like, dang, so they can kind of do whatever to you until, and it's weird. So I'm in these environments, and I'm like, y'all, it's weird. Like even now, I was like the guy downstairs, which I'm like, okay. He made a comment about, well, the old guy's kind of been up there, and I kind of got to go off what he says. And then I'm like, but what happens when he's the one that might be the issue? Because I'm like, no, I don't really bother nobody. I do have an apartment technically that I'm waiting to be restored, right? And it's almost a year. But then again, the transfer is almost, well, actually a year and a couple months now anyway, after emergency transfer. And I'm like, what happens when they're participating in things? But I'm like, okay, maybe they're pointing out the truths, but I'm like, okay, if you know them, why do you gotta put them out? If you completely grasp everything, you're like, oh, could we be, babe, you need all of that? That's a lot extra. Do you not think that maybe somebody being away from an environment would just like, okay, good. You know what I mean? Like something is a common environment where you're introducing to where people actually have sense enough to do things the right way and appropriately, and then maybe to allow somebody to try to get back in the swing of normal life to where everything is revolved around you, but then somebody else trying to take or stating or this. I'm like, so if you're, I'm confused at what somebody's doing because I'm like, you only got you talking about this, that, and the third. So you technically only got X amount of time into the new year, and I'm like, what's really going on? You know, like it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, I'm not really grasping X, Y, and Z. I'm not really grasping the allowance of things. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm here. I'm like, okay, cool. So place is clean. Don't really bother anybody like going by, knock. Do you need something? Are you good? Da da da. Oh well, blah blah. Oh, we need some. Blah. Like whatever. So my thing is like, why are you doing basically what somebody else did? Was commenting back, like, except for it was a lot more like what one side already stopped, which is good, right? That was like up or down. But I'm like, even coming in and being a new person, you have to get abreast with other people's antics and start to chip in. It isn't like, oh, I saw it on YouTube, I'm gonna go over here and kind of. No, you would have to actually work yourself in. Like if you get randomly placed, and then you get randomly placed. So like, you get randomly placed, so they say. So somebody with something was randomly placed in a randomly good selection and randomly harassed out they spot. Being so close in proximity to certain locations. Come on, come again. It shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't take this long to kind of figure out or do X, Y, and Z and sit there and allow somebody or people to believe or follow somebody's pattern or instruction. You should really question your own personal judgment. I thought I should be questioning my personal judgment. I'm like, no, like I've already kind of realized all these things and all these antics were ongoing, and I tried to counter them at every measure. But for some reason, somebody else seems to take fun in going against. So it feels like it's still two sides, which is weird. Why would it feel like that? Why would it be allowed like that? Why won't people have the common sense to step in and say something, especially if I'm saying something? I'm like, okay, I'm saying something. Are you? Oh well, I'm trying to get into my. So what if this does this directly involve you? Because if it's not y'all business out there, then you're not getting brainwashed. Then nothing's occurring to you. So don't look for anything, right?